Hey now, say now, welcome back to the Stanford Cardinal Dynasty. We get ready to kick off Season 2 as head of the program. After a solid start in our rebuild, it's time to continue momentum for seasons to come. We have an exciting rivalry matchup early in the year, but before looking ahead, the Cardinal welcome the Hawaii Warriors to the mainland. They won 9 games last season, going 7-1 in conference play, and will be an interesting matchup, especially at the quarterback battle. Let's get ready to kick off Season 2. Demarcus Davis led the Warrior offense again this season, and Stanford made him uncomfortable early as edge rusher Adam Shovlin comes home for the sack, and Shovlin will be the main pass rusher in our defense this year, especially in passing downs, and he makes a play early on. The sack on second down leads to a punt on fourth down, and Jamison Winston came on to boot it away. Transfer receiver Jordan Faison back to field it. Middle return is set up. He dashes through the hole before cutting left, and he's got space. He takes it deep in Hawaii territory as he's pushed out of bounds at the 23. After the great return, Cardinal get inside the 10 before Elijah Brown hits Faison in the end zone for a Cardinal touchdown. First score of year 2 is Elijah Brown to Jordan Faison for a 7-yard strike. Started the second quarter, Stanford at the 47. Brown back to pass. He then loads up for a deep shot, and it's going to be caught. That's Jalen Mbakwe. He holds it in for a 53-yard touchdown and an absolute dime from EB. Stanford goes up 2 scores. Hawaii down 14 late in the second. Ball at the 39, they set a read option with Davis, who keeps it, follows his blocks, and he darts downfield for a nice game. Transfer safety Isaac Smith with the touchdown-saving tackle. Less than a minute left on the 11. Davis back to pass, and he throws a laser to Oke Salavea for 6. Hawaii gets on the board before half. However, on the ensuing kickoff, Hawaii boots it deep. That's transfer wide receiver Ishmael Sisse. He's going to field it at the 4. He navigates up the middle before sprinting through the gap, and he could go all the way. 96-yard kick return touchdown as the Cardinal bumped the lead back up to 14 before the half. 21-7 at the break, and the transfer wide receivers are making a huge impact already, led by Mbakwe, who only has 3 catches but 88 yards and a big play touchdown. EB is showing nice chemistry with the receivers so far, and they're going to look to keep that momentum going in the second half. However, Hawaii drive a few minutes to the third. Davis back to pass on third down. The ball gets broken up, but it gets caught by Jackson Harris. He snags it and takes it to the house. What a heads-up play to keep his eyes on the ball. Even as 3 defenders converge on it, he scoops it out of the air, and he takes it the other way for 6. Unfortunately, that was as close as Hawaii got, as at the start of the fourth, Micah Ford takes the handoff from the 47. He dashes through the right side, picks up a block, and then whoops, jukes out a defender, and he darts for the end zone for a Cardinal touchdown, putting Stanford up 42-14 in the fourth quarter. The game was so out of hand. Freshman quarterback Josh Pinto came on late. He dropped back at the 19. He throws it up to Faison, who makes a nice catch and falls into the end zone for a salt-in-the-wound touchdown, as that caps off a Week 1 beatdown of the Warriors as Stanford wins 49-21 at home to kick off the season. Brown had a decent showing, completing 66% of his passes and 3 touchdowns, though he barely went over 200 yards. However, the Cardinal turned the page to a heated rivalry game against the crosstown rival San Jose State Spartans. The Spartans host this year's matchup, looking to get revenge on the Cardinal in last year's thriller. Current streak is only at 1, if you call it a streak, and Stanford, who has now won 53 wins in this contest. Redshirt freshman quarterback Tame Amesone led the Spartans offense, and he got on a roll early. He drops back to pass, and he stands in the pocket and hits wide receiver number 1 Leland Smith across the middle for a big pickup. Tama. Later, he's going to drop back to pass and look for 6. He throws it up. That's Matthew Coleman in the corner of the end zone, and he brings it down for a touchdown. Spartans strike first as Coleman boxes out the defender and snags it for 6. Stanford down 7 after the opening drive. Brown's going to draw back the pass. He dumps his short to Mbakwe, who runs away from the defense and whoops, jukes out 2 more, cuts left before taken down after a nice play. Stanford later faces a 4th and 4 at the 16, and they line up to go for it. Brown drops back the pass and hits Mbakwe short, who catches it and turns it upfield, converting it down to gain. A few plays later, 3rd and goal. Brown's going to call his own number as he follows his blockers up the middle, and he pushes in the end zone for the score. He strikes the post, and Stanford gets that 7 back quickly. 6 minutes left in the second down. Stanford ball at the 24. 3rd and 6. Brown's going to hit Mbakwe again. He breaks off a tackler. He jukes out another one. He turns it upfield. Whoops! Spins out another defender. And he darts it as he's tackled down at the 26-yard line. Even he is sick of himself after those moves he just pulled off. Offense down to the goal line, and Brown's going to pay him back with a TD strike as he's wide open in the corner. Stanford takes the lead 14-10 as Mbakwe has been uncoverable so far in this one. Spartans don't falter though. Tama takes a snap as he backed up on 3rd and 16. Stanford drops all deep, but somehow Coleman gets open behind the defenders for a big play to convert the yards to gain. Later, on 2nd and inches, blown coverage by the defense as tight end Kame Kopa Kalawawi is wide open in the end zone for a touchdown. Miscommunication on the defense as San Jose capitalizes for a score. Stanford take over, and as they're looking to put together a late score in the half, Brown tries to hit a middle receiver, and he's picked off by cornerback Caleb Womack, setting up San Jose State deep in Cardinal territory. And they take advantage of the turnover as on 1st and goal, Leland Smith takes the short flip and he pushes his way past the goal line for 6. Spartans increase their lead to 10 before the break. Stanford does get 3 late before halftime, making it 24-17 going into the intermission. Both passing offenses have been putting on the show. Both defenses are on the heels as 428 passing yards have been surrendered already. Stanford drive out of the half, facing a 3rd and 10 from the 35. Spartans going to look to send pressure, but Brown gets it off, and tight end Mason Williams hauls it in for a tough catch to convert the down. Later, 1st and goal from the 1. Brown's going to hand off to Ford as the blue sea parts for a Stanford touchdown out of the half, and they tie the game. They quickly get the ball back, and on 3rd and 4, Brown dumps it short to Ford. Whoops, he jukes out to a defender. He doesn't get the block he needs to take it to the house, but he's pushed out of bounds for a nice gain nonetheless. Another 3rd down, this time on the 7. Brown's going to drop back to pass, and then he's going to hit Jordan Faison in the corner for a score. 14 unanswered points out of the half as the Cardinal take the lead once again, 31-24. Spartans ball now trailing by 7. Thomas going to take the snap from the 27. He gets good protection before taking a deep shot, and Leland Smith hauls it in and beats his man, taking it all the way to the house. Spartans get 7 back after that long catch and run touchdown. 34-31 in the 4th when Brown tells Tama, "I see your long touchdown and I'll one-up you." He shuffles right before throwing it deep to Caden High, who outruns the defensive back for an 84-yard touchdown. Fireworks aplenty here in NorCal. 10-point deficit for the Spartans with 4 minutes left. Tama drops back to pass and he throws it to halfback Lamar Radcliffe, who brings it down in traffic. He again gets rewarded on the very next play as he takes the inside give, jukes off Isaac Smith, and he runs it in for a touchdown. Spartans cut the lead to 3 with 3 to play. Stanford ball up late but feeling the pressure as San Jose has all 3 timeouts. But the Cardinals play to win. Brown's going to drop back to pass and throw a strike, and it's Jalen Mbakwe who hauls it in for an acrobatic catch and huge gain. So nice, we'll see it twice. He gets inside leverage, breaks off his mark just as the ball arrives, stretches, and snags it for the big pickup. Few plays later, Stanford looking to put the nail in the coffin. They take the snap from the 6-yard line. They set up screen, and it's executed perfectly as third halfback Champ Hampton gets a colony in front of him, and he waltzes into the end zone for the game-sealing touchdown. Perfectly executed drive as Stanford holds on to win their 2nd straight and the Bill Walsh legacy game. Elijah Brown was electric today with 454 yards and 5 touchdowns. He did have the one pick, but it was not a huge factor as he leads the Cardinal to victory. Offense lit it up with 633 yards of total offense with 179 on the ground. The defense did struggle mightily though against a redshirt freshman and quarterback Tame Amasone, who also finished over 400 yards. The Spartans did get limited to just 14 points in the second half, and the Stanford defense did just enough to hold off the victory. Micah Ford finished with 133 yards on the ground on a staggering 7-yard average, while redshirt sophomore Chris Davis chipped in 56 yards of his own. Jalen Mbakwe was the key playmaker through the air with 10 receptions and a $152 in yards with the score. Fellow transfer Jordan Faison added 7 and 75, while Caden High added a long touchdown with 91 yards total. On defense, star safety Isaac Smith led the team with 11 total tackles. Corner Nicholson had 7, while Max Tucker and Josiah Galvin added 6 apiece. Adam Chauvelin led the team with 4 TFLs along with 2 sacks. Returning senior Omar Staples added 2 TFLs and a sack of a half on his day, while defensive tackles Timmons and Marseille Alayinka both had 2 TFLs and 2 combined sacks. What an exciting start to season 2. If you liked today's episode, please hit that like button, and I'll see you guys next time.